Hello, team. Welcome to the session on Coffee with Prabh. And today we have a special guest, Mr. Manjunath. Manjunath is a ICS security specialist and OT security specialist. And one thing which is basically inspired me to have Manjunath in this session is that about his content, what he write for OT security. I have never seen any Indian who write such a great content on OT security. And it is really a privilege for us, honor for us to have Mr. Manjunath on this particular channel, on this particular platform. And we should also appreciate Mr. Manjunath because taking out the time in a weekend, it's not a cup of tea, but taking out the time in a weekend and serving back to the society with OT security, IT security, and all that. I'm really thankful, Mr. Manjunath, for this efforts.
Thank you, Prabh. First of all, thanks for this opportunity to share my views on industrial automation and operational technology and its security, why it is so important. And for that, I really appreciate that we are having this conversation. As you said, yes, I'm eagerly waiting to share my thoughts, whatever ideas, and whatever my knowledge. So first of all, thanks for that. I hope viewers definitely going to get some kind of information related to OT security. Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks, Prab.
even I'm also one of your students, so for me also the getting understanding about OT is always a challenging stuff. So I'm sure I will have a great learning from this particular session, and I'm sure the subscribers and learners will get the kind of a visibility from this particular video. So Manju, like just need to understand, what is OT, what is ICS, because they are using this term ICS, OT. What is all about this? Can you just help us with this?
Yeah. So the first of all, let us understand the operational technology. So when we say ICS, it is an industrial control system. It is a part of operational technology. So
Mhm.
operational technology is the combination of your hardware and software to monitor the physical processes and devices and your entire infrastructure. So basically, which includes your industrial control systems, network devices, and a lot many things like sensors, and you have switches, pumps, and also this OT is used in variety of sectors like you can call it, in manufacturing, oil and
Mm,
gas, even
mm.
in aviation, and even in marine systems, and power distribution, specifically in energy sectors. So this comprises of operational technology. Basically, it's a
Okay,
combination of hardware and software. What we have, yeah,
okay. But what is an like if you take example like we have a machineries and all that. Let's take example of the uh, power plants, or let's take example of the oil plants and all that. It these are going through the refineries and all that. So a lot of machines are involved. Are we saying that machine is a OT, or are we saying there's a system which going to manage that machine is a OT? I'm sorry, but just need to understand.
yeah, exactly. So this entire operational technology is a combination. As I said, one way, okay, let us say that's you have the machineries, but you need something which should be controlled from the central place. Like it
Yeah.
should be automatically controlled based on the physical processing. Because when we say in oil and gas sector or whatever, even in power management systems, there is a physical process which needs to be controlled. Before 70s, there were some manual works used to happen, and someone has to go to the field and they try to open manually. But because of this distributed control system and specifically the evolution of industrial control system has given that opportunity to control automatically. So this is what comprises of the entire operational technology. So
Okay.
because your operations of these devices, processes, which involves less human interaction. I mean, no one need to go to the field. Only if it is a maintenance purpose, yes, people used to go. But now the entire system, like entire
Hmm.
devices, processes, will be controlled by the central monitoring devices like industrial control
Okay.
system, like distributed control systems and PLCs, and even in RTUs. So there are many control systems available like SCADA, depending on your applications, like end
Okay.
users, because
Okay.
various plants are there, right? Like oil and gas, electrical
Hmm.
generation, and distribution. So
Hmm.
all these comprises of we can call it as operational technology. So industrial control system is one part of it.
Okay. That's good. So what is ICS then? Like if I ask you, okay, OT is there. So what is ICS all about then?
Okay, now as I said, you need some kind of control system which need to control the entire process, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just like that, it is an intelligence platform, I can say. So the
Okay.
industrial control system, which is a system which controls the physical process. So it's
Okay.
a I can say microcontroller, for example. So
Microcontroller.
that
Okay.
is nothing but your industrial control system, which
Okay.
accept the input from the sensors,
Mm,
and then it processes the value. Let us say you need to control the pressure, for example.
mm,
Let us
mm,
take one example of your tank. Okay,
mm,
in the tank I have the inlet where the water is pouring in, and once
mm,
it reaches to certain level, it has to
mm,
I will open the outlet valve. So what happens? So this automatic process of this controlling, like once it reaches, so this industrial control system were written with some logics or applications where you have if you reach certain level, then I need to open the outlet valve. So these
mm.
automatic processes are controlling by this ICS. So industrial
Okay.
control system. How it happens? I will just give you one example. Okay. So for example, one level is so we have level transmitters just to check the inlet valve or inlet level transmitters. Then so I will check the wall and what is the pressure it is coming or what is the flow and how much flow I need to maintain. So there
Mm,
is a if I want to give a brief introduction about this industrial controls, there are some PID parameters are important for the automatic control. So this is called proportional, integral, and derivative. So I will not go in depth because it is a completely instrumentation thing, and we need some little background about this. But yes, these three parameters are very important when you are working with industrial control system. But anyways, again, it is depends on the application, as I said.
mm,
So now I am talking about the DCS, where the distributed control system, like it's a very big geographical area. For example, oil and gas. Let us take. So you have many plants because that the production of petrol, diesel, it in requires the crude oil coming from the offshore where they will
mm,
pour in, and then there are so many chemical process need to happen on the
mm,
different parts of the location in this plant. For example, let us take Indian Oil, IOCL plant, where we have in Panipat, and there are many places around the around India where you will get the crude oil from some offshore plant, and then you will crack it, and there is a catalytic process, and where it will go through the distribution plan, and then it will be segregated as petrol, diesel, and all that. So this is
mm.
a chemical process, but to control the entire thing, so there is a lot of parties involved, but ultimately the logics, everything, and controlled by the industrial control systems.
Okay.
Yeah. And even electrical plays the majority of the role here. I will tell you why. Because, as I said, now we have taken the example of flow transmitter. I need to read that how much flow is coming. So I
Mm.
will. We have the flow transmitters which is connected to the we call this as IO channels.
Okay.
Where nearby the physical process we will have one building. So I'm just giving you a practical overview how it is in the real world. So you
Mm,
have the uh, physical transmitter there, and you will run the cable. Basically,
mm,
the plus or minus cable you will run, and it will go to one of the local panel where you will connect, and then from there it will connect to the controller in the centralized location where it can
mm.
be 3 to 4 kilometers long, and still it is communicating with through fiber optic channels, because
Yeah.
when we say RJ45 it has some limitations. So because of that we'll run the fiber optic channels, and which is connected to the centralized location where it processes basically,
Mm,
and then
mm.
the operator can view what exactly is happening with the physical process. So
Okay.
the entire thing, and then if I want to control the wall similar way, so then controller will calculate how much wall percentage I have to open, and then
Mm.
it will send the signal and it will control. So
Okay.
this is the entire picture. I can you can just imagine. This is one loop
Okay.
what which I have told. So in
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the understanding about, like we definitely OT is something is on a ground level, and ICS is the one which controlling these OTs for their operation purpose and all that.
Yes.
So Manju, like just need to understand if someone want to make a career in the OT or OT security, so what is the skill is required? Because that is something is one of the myth people have this in the market, that okay, how to become a OT security specialist. If you can spend time on that area, 5 minutes.
Exactly. So what I always suggest that if you are an instrumentation engineer or industrial background, industrial automation
Mm,
background, then
mm,
start with the industrial automation companies. Like directly, don't jump into the OT security straight away, because without knowing what you are protecting, like
mm,
you should understand the domain first, what exactly OT is. Once you
true.
have that basic understanding of automation, the OT,
Mm,
then you can slowly move towards OT security. Why I
yes.
am telling it, the industrial automation itself, it's a very big scope. So you have to understand at least the basics of automation, like what is
Mm,
PID controller, what is controls, what are the control systems, and what is operational technology involves with,
mm,
and what is safety. Basically safety is also one of the important key parameter in industrial automation domain.
mm,
Once you
mm,
have the thorough understanding of all this, at least you work for 1 or 2 years in this domain
mm,
and try to grab the knowledge how much ever you want. Then
mm.
once that is done, then definitely the security is always a part of what you are protecting. Since it is
Okay.
everything is Ethernet based, and it is connecting to the it's not connected to the internet, however, directly, but still the networking concepts are same. The same OSI
True.
model, TCP/IP model, the
Mm,
same thing. Even industrial networks are also using the same. Uh,
okay.
Before that, yeah, before we used to have the traditional legacy system, which each OEMs used to have their own proprietary protocols, you
Mm,
know. So, but we have to thank the third industrial revolution, where people started using the commercial off the shelf, COTS in short.
mm,
We started using Ethernet based communication protocols, where
mm,
there is interoperability. Like no more proprietary protocol. Like now we can use Modbus, TCP/IP. There are Profibus. So many protocols which are open. Anyone
mm.
can use any system. You can integrate it
Okay.
with yeah, any systems. So for example, now I am from Yokogawa, maybe ABB guy can integrate easily through
Mm,
OPCUA and
mm,
through Modbus with some
mm,
integration. So like
mm.
this, so you have to understand the entire architecture of your industrial control system,
Okay.
means OT environment. And
But do you
here I
recommend any
just
book or YouTube resources for this particular topics to be understand? Do you have any recommendations?
uh, if you want to understand the basics of OT, not there are some short videos. If you
Mm,
are very
mm,
new, then real pars, REALPARS, those are very short, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. What
mm,
I feel is they it's animated video with a very good sound system, and they
mm,
show the exact physical process. They try to explain about not only DCS or whatever, and then
mm,
it talks about how it is connected the way I
mm,
explained. Some of them
mm.
I got inspiration from them, even
Oh,
though I try to collect everything, but this is one YouTube video where I felt it will be really helpful if you are an industrial automation engineer. And there is one
okay.
more website I want to mention here. In my early career, I used to refer this, but today I have seen they are doing a tremendous work, that is called instrumentationtools.com. So
Okay.
I really need to thank that guy. I think Bharadwaj Reddy or someone, but he put a lot of effort in core instrumentation. Basically, it's not only about sensors or whatever. So starting from your level 0 to level 5. So he covers
Mm,
everything about instrumentation, about automation, about industrial control system. If you're looking
okay.
for resource in one place, I think this is the guy. And in YouTube, there are many such videos. You can just always go through particular OEM's website. Still, you will get many information.
Okay. And any like if someone is basically from the non-instructional or designer or non-IT or electronics from that vertical, and he's a security guy, how much he need to know? Okay. for the OT security? Like how much he need to know OT so he can able to secure? Ru- Does he really need to know about core electronics and all that, or just a high level to understand the process work so he can build the security process into it?
Yes. To coming to this question, it's very interesting topic because nowadays I'm seeing a lot of IT, security guys are coming into OT domain
Mm.
because for them, yeah, I would say it is little difficult for them to understand what is exactly happening in OT environment because without working on that particular subject, compared to the OT guy who comes to the OT security part, for them it would be easier compared to IT guy.
Okay.
But still, I would say it is not so difficult also because of today there are so many open projects. For example, PLC open projects. Even I have recently shared my article there. What are the tools available just to learn the about PLC how it works. You can code it. Just try how it is working fine. So those things, if you start learning about OT security systems, not security means about industrial control system, then straight away you can security part anyways you know it because it
Mm.
is the general concept that we use the same TCP/IP model and the networking components like the same switches. Even you means ITE also uses the switches, firewalls, routers. The same functionality wise, everything is same. Only thing you need to more study on the like controller, how it controls the plant,
Okay.
right? But moreover, I would like to reiterate in one thing like I haven't touched so far is Purdue model. So this Purdue model, it talks about the different levels of communication. For example, as I said, the physical process where it's controlling the plant with sensors, right? That is called
Mm.
level 0,
Mm.
where in our domain we call it as field zone. Then comes the level 1 where you have the microcontroller which controls the integration with this field, and also which
Okay.
communicates to the next level where the operator sees the HMI station, how it is my physical process is happening. Then
Mm.
comes the level 3 where the ultimately all these oil and gas plant or power plants, why they need to make a money by selling their products, right? Even if it
Mm.
is oil and gas or whatever, they need to have some kind of manufacturing execution system. Then
Mm.
comes the DMZ layer. Then
Okay.
comes the business zone, enterprise zone, where all your IT assets are sitting there for the business logistics and also enterprise making decisions. Like
Mm.
so, till level 3, you have OT, where everything comes as a data, but
Mm.
the entire making decision making and the business process logistics, everything happens on the enterprise zone. But in
Okay.
between DMZ is there. This is the very one important layer where which integrates us with IT with OT. So level
Okay.
up to level 3 is OT and comes the IT. In between there is a DMZ layer. And the concept is similar to IT, how you use the DMZ, same way. Because we don't want to connect an IT OT directly. Because
Mm.
if OT systems are connected directly to the internet, and you know that once it is connected to the internet, how
Exposed to the threats. Yeah.
attack vectors are more vulnerabilities, more threats to the control system. And like
Mm.
unlike IT, I just want to quickly touch upon the difference between IT versus OT. So IT is more on the confidentiality and integrity. Availability comes the last priority, but in OT, availability is the
Availability is
key.
first. Then
Yeah,
integrity.
yeah, without availability and safety also one of the major point here, because if something attack can happen on the OT
Mm.
system, then what
Mm.
happens is it the disastrous situation is you can't imagine. It directly deal with the people who are working on the plant, and also for the environment. What happens, and you might have seen that a few years back, in Japan, one of the nuclear plant got exploded. So so these things we have to keep it in mind. If someone attacks on the
Okay.
physical process and he varies the pressure, and it is like
Mm.
you try to blast the cylinder, what happens?
Mm.
Your entire building will collapse and more
Mm.
fatalities. So we have to
Mm.
keep all this in mind. We are protecting the not only industrial control systems, we
Okay.
need to protect the people first, people and
True.
asset. Yeah.
True.
And thereby even economies. Now we are seeing more and more nation-sponsored attacks where
Hmm.
the people are targeting on the critical infrastructure. Why?
Yes,
Because
that's true.
the once your critical infrastructure loses its components, then more economy become weaker. So this is a new
True.
way of pressurizing the nation.
True.
Yeah.
See,
So
that is the thing. See, people have this kind of a assumption about, the difference of implementations come from a different backgrounds and all that, you know, because I have seen a lot of things where the IT people are moving or security people are moving to the OT security to make it better. But without having a basic understanding of the security, basic understanding of the concept, you can't secure the, you know, these stuffs. So that's a very good point that you said about the different layers and about the DMZs and all that. So we have seen a lot of trend where a lot of attacks happen against the ICS setup. If you take example, recently this year, US has basically faced the same issue where the hackers hack into the ICS plant and they increase the chlorine level in the water. Then Tata was a recent example of that. So, what is your recommendation as a best practice to secure the ICS from your experience,
yeah, from my
apart from
experience,
DMZ and all that? Just high level, yeah.
yeah, understood. So overall, uh, in current scenario, what we are seeing is, forget about the new plants. Let us take the people are attacking on the older systems which are already running with the legacy systems, or
Hmm,
maybe the recently commissioned plants.
hmm, hmm,
What we have seen is, you know the system hardening, or they don't have any security particular to
hmm,
OT specific. The
hmm.
security part on the plant which are handled by the IT guys.
Okay,
Usually they are afraid of touching the OT assets basically,
true, true.
because they don't know if they touch something is
Hmm,
going to happen. Then they are afraid. So
yeah,
because of this reason, from past 3 years, the OT security domain has become more famous than
yeah.
before, because nowadays more attacks are happening. So the
Hmm,
best practice is always first understand what are your assets. Like in
hmm,
your plant, the asset
hmm.
visibility is the key. Like you have to
Yeah,
understand what are the assets, then only you can protect those systems, right?
true.
And on each asset, what are the risks associated with it. And there are so
Yeah.
many tools are available nowadays. You can there are so many OT security solution vendor. I'll not
Hmm,
mention any names here, but
hmm,
they are there. And only thing is, the higher management need to take a decision, like what security parameters I need to keep it in place.
okay.
For example, one is the first best practices is always the asset visibility of their plant, be it in a form of maybe bill of material or
Hmm,
asset inventory, whatever it
hmm,
may be. Then comes
okay.
the network segmentation. So network segmentation is nothing but you are segregating your network zones into different levels. Because as I
Yeah.
said, as per the Purdue model, like physical process, and then comes the control zone. Then we call it DMZ zone, then enterprise zone. So all these network are, we have to be segregated. No, it has to be
Hmm,
segregated. So network segmentation is the second best practices. And then comes the network solutions, monitoring solutions. Like you have to
okay.
monitor always monitor what are the threats or vulnerabilities in your system, or if there is
Hmm,
any malicious activities happening around your
hmm,
plant.
hmm,
So even nowadays, I think OT SOC also coming up. Not many plants, I would say, but yeah. And there should be always security policies to be created particular to OT security, or you can merge with IT also. What we
hmm,
have seen, what I have seen from my experience is that in any plant, you go where the end user will have only the IT security policies, but not with respect to OT. So the recommendation would be, you please make sure that create an OT security policy, so that the operators who are controlling the physical process, they are aware of what security is and how important it is. And the
okay.
last one is, you have to take all the security measures like patch management, backup and recovery systems, all those things whatever you have. So all these security measures you take it. So these are the best practices, I would say.
Great.
Yeah,
So the way we have a IT for CIS benchmark, I'm sure you're aware about that. Do we have a same kind of a benchmark for IC security, which is maintained by any body?
exactly. even in this cybersecurity and infrastructure agency always releases a kind of guidance, and even NIST 882, 853, even still it is in place. There are so many documents. Even CIS benchmark also has
Hmm.
tools, especially for ICS. So now
Okay.
even SANS, SANS Institute has released so many guidelines and the tools to protect on the ICS level.
Hmm.
So even like CIS benchmark, we have from CIS benchmark also for ICS.
Okay. Great. So what you can see, like, about the IC security as a career in next 5 years? Like, do you have any recommendation for our freshers or aspiring engineers? What do you think as IC security as a scope in India or outside of India? Which countries they can look for?
Exactly. So to answer this question, first I will take on the freshers first. Okay, if they are from instrumentation background or any thing, first they should join as an instrumentation engineer or industrial automation. They directly cannot jump into the security. So take
Hmm.
your 2 years of time and do maybe security plus or CH plus, which they can grab some information about how it is happening on the security point of view. But as a
Hmm.
part of the work, they can start with join OEMs like
Hmm.
Yokogawa, ABB. There are many companies like GE, even Honeywell, Schneider Electric. There are so many companies, or you can join the end users like IOCL, BPCL. So many companies are there. And once you have 2 years of experience or 3 years, let us say, you
Hmm.
understood you gather the knowledge about ICS, industrial control systems, and then you move to the security part of it, because you
Okay.
already are aware that the network components, how it is communicated, and all these architecture, what I have told you, the Purdue architecture, they might have understood by this time. Then slowly you build up on the security part. So once you move, then you straight away jump into the security part of it. And there are so many opportunities available. I am telling you, moving ahead, since we are seeing that the industries are moving towards the digital transformation, Industry
Hmm.
4.0. There are a lot of opportunities coming up, even for cloud engineers. Those who are if they can, even they can also move into the industrial automation domain. And
Okay.
those who have more than 5 years, it is the right time that you do certification, whatever you want to grab that opportunity. Uh, I have written that what are the certifications available for
So what are
industrial
the
automation.
certification? I'm sorry to interrupt. So just need to
Yeah,
understand what are the certifications? We are like the in information security, we have a CISSP, CISA, and CSAM,
yeah, yeah.
CS. So what are the
Unlike
certifications we have in IC
yeah, unlike
security? Yeah.
IT, in the OT domain, OT security domain, we have very less certifications like GICSP from SANS,
Hmm. Sans.
GIC organization. Yeah. So,
Very
but
expensive.
very expensive, yeah, I would say. So
Hmm.
if your organizer is willing to pay that, then definitely go for it. Otherwise,
Hmm.
what I did is, so I have done my ISA, 62443. That is one of the standard which gives a certification. This is the only standard available for the entire OT
OT
systems.
security.
Basically, all
Okay.
others are framework or guidelines or rules. But when we talk about OT standard, then this is the only standard available for OT security. So I did
Okay.
that certification. They offer 4 certificates. Fundamentals. Then comes the risk assessment. Then comes the design and implement. Then operation and maintenance. So if you look
Okay.
at their curriculum, the certification, it covers the entire life cycle of the operational technology. So the entire life cycle, so that you are aware. So for example, you are in design and implemented where you are working as a product security, then you follow that. And or you already working with the end user, then that operation and maintenance certification will help you. And or you are a consultant who working with Deloitte or a big four company, PwC, KPMG, or EY, if you are ICS consultant, then that risk assessment will help you in conducting the risk assessment. Then the fundamentals, anyways, it is common for everybody. So my suggestion is, better to go with the, by considering the, money wise, or say ISA 99 certificates are really good in the market. Also, if you look at the job description, this is quite important.
And are they certifying organization also, like the way we have a 27001 to certify the organization? So same like the certifying individuals. So are these ISA certifications are also certifying OT security setups and all that? Or do we have any other standards for certifying the OT security? Definitely, because trust factor comes with the reputations, and reputation come with some standard and benchmark. So do we have a similar kind of a certification for certifying the organization OT security, something else?
Yeah, we have that. Organization
Mm.
level, yes. If you look at the 62443 standard, there are four
Mm.
tiers in that. So last,
Okay.
like we call it as general policies and procedure. Then comes the system and components. For
Okay.
example, you are a product security. You are releasing one industrial control system product. Then you
Mm.
have to be, you have to get the certification from 62443. There is a body called Exida or
Okay.
TUV. These are all the certifying body from ISA Secure. ISA Secure
Okay.
is the one who developed this. ISA has developed 99 committee has developed the
Mm-hmm.
62443 standards, and this 4-1 4-2 which talks about the secure development life cycle. Like when you are
Mm.
a product owner or
Mm.
who was developing a product for industrial
Mm.
control system environment, nowadays even end user will ask you that are you a
Okay.
certified from ISA Secure. So then, or similar, I don't think any similar approach is there. I
Mm.
recently I came to know, there are certain on the geographical location wise, like in Germany there are some local vendors, they will ask, depends on the government's rules. But
Okay.
I am talking about in general, where usually end user will accept that, if you are a certified from ISS Secure, yes, because already you are compliant. There are
Yeah.
security levels where you have to meet. So if you
Mm.
are there are four security levels basically: SL1,
Okay.
SL2, SL3, SL4. The more
Okay.
number, the more the attack vectors will reduce. So you are protecting against the higher threats.
Okay. So, matlab, they trust those standards, means the
Exactly.
clients.
Basically, now 62443 has become the one of the robust standard. So you have to follow that. If you are an OT domain, security domain, means OT security domain, 62443 is the key. You have to go through. You have to understand that.
Great. That's great. So, any plan for Manjunath to drive such trainings in future? So, those who are watching this video, they can
Yeah,
basically
definitely.
get an idea.
My aim is to, start program like your. Even I got admired by your coffee shop videos. So similar way, my main aim is to, share my knowledge, whatever I have learned so far, and also by doing that, I will also learn from the
Mm.
viewers or by whenever they ask questions. So I will start to think that okay, this also can be there part of it. So my plan is to maybe in the coming months, maybe 1 or 2 months, I'll start my YouTube channel where people
Oh,
can start following my channel.
I will be the
I'll
first one.
be sharing, yeah, I'll be sharing what OT is, then how to start your career basically, and where to go for resources. And I already shared my article. But however, some people have some questions. Maybe I think YouTube is the best way to connect
True.
with each other, and whenever they ask questions, definitely I'm going to come and answer on YouTube channel. Yeah, soon there is a
That's
plan.
that's great. That's great. So, anything the last pointer you would like to share with our subscribers on IC securities and all that before we wrapping up for us today?
Yeah, see, don't think that OT security is some kind of magic that will happen overnight. Please go slowly. Try to understand the basics of operational technology and industrial control systems, and what are the things that you require. And already I have shared the two parts of that: how to start their career in OT ICS security, or even who are already working in industrial automation domain, which they want to explore that knowledge about security. Go slow, take it slow, take your time.
Baby
Once the
steps.
basic is set, yeah, basic is set, then it's time for you to explore the world. And one last thing is, d- whenever we have seen when as an industrial automation engineer or instrumentation engineer, sometimes our work, there is no like there is no time limit. Like we have to work throughout, sometimes 2 or 3 days continuously during the commissioning time. That happens. But in OT security domain, what we would say is the more flexibility and more opportunities. Like you can work with product companies, OEMs. Then you can directly work with end users, and you can work as consultants, or you can become freelancer. So there are not many opportunities,
Great.
even because
Great.
of the IoT, IIoTs. Even
Mm.
those who are from the IT security background, even for that these opportunities are readily available, and we need these resources. We are finding it difficult to get the resource, proper resource.
Wow, wow. So,
This is the time.
so it's a very good point, and it is an opportunity available in India also. Like when you're talking about this opportunity of skill set of people, I think we need for India also and for the other countries. So, what are the other countries who have a great demand of IC security apart from India? I've seen some rise up in Middle East also.
Exactly. Middle East is the first one because there are a lot of opportunities coming up because what I have seen from my experience, these are the people who straight away, takes care of their security aspects of their OT environment. So
Hmm.
that's why there is a lot of opportunities are rising up in Middle East. Then comes the Europe, even in US, but US, always they go for a local resources. I'm talking about those who are in India. They are trying to get a job outside the world, means Europe, Asia, and on the East Asia. East Asia is Malaysia, Singapore, and Australia are the three major countries where
Great.
I'm seeing a lot of opportunities are rising up. So you
And
can
and it is a
always look
combination of OT and OT security both. मतलब IC security and
both. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That is really great, and this is really a eye-opening session, at least for me. Okay, I'm sure it can be a very informative for the people who are going to watch this video. And team, if you're really looking for some kind of a career advice from on IC security, this is a person, Mr. Manjunath. Okay, you can follow him on LinkedIn because the way, as I said, he's starting already content. So on IC security, and best thing is that he writing on from a very foundational level. So even the non IT guy, non ICT, or even non IT guy can able to understand. Okay, so that is the best thing about the way Manjunath is writing a content. And as I said, Manju is planning to launch very soon videos on a YouTube channel. I will be the first one who looking forward for this particular videos because I always recommend my gladiators, my students also in the OT security, how it's getting evolved and all that. And I'm sure with those videos we had a great learning. And again, I would like to thanks Mr. Manju for coming to this session and taking out the time to share their experience about the OT security, especially coming to weekend, taking the time from your family and giving back to society is a big thing is required. So thanks again, sir. Thank you so much, Manju.
Thanks, Prabh, for this opportunity, and it is my privilege to share my views and thoughts on the what I am passionate about, OT security. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Thanks, Manju. So we're looking forward for more session from Manju in future. And if
Yes,
you find
definitely.
more, if you're looking for a more videos team from Manju on, and you want more discussion to be done on Manjunath with us on IC security, do share your suggestion in the comment box. Okay. So this is all from our side. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.